outside. All souls who were involved with one or the other party were drawn into the game of the seducers and the seduced, a game of power and powerlessness, culprits and victims. Thus, human beings are on the inside what they fight against on the outside, because they have suppressed it, or because it was their karma to take part in this game of oppressors and victims.
There is another theory on Sebottendorf, which is held by the French author René Allot, who in his 60s has written a book and had been intensely interested in Sebottendorf. In that book, he declares that Sebottendorf acted secretly on behalf of the Order's chiefs. These Order chiefs were from the Turkish Lodge, which Sebottendorf had joined on his first stay in Turkey. So from this theory derives the idea that Sebottendorf was possibly in charge of bringing the national movement in Germany under the control of the Freemasons. One has to add that the Freemasonry which Sebottendorf was talking about was the Eastern Freemasonry. He also called them the Rosicrucians, the alchemists. It is different from the Western Freemasonry, which he had rejected. Following this theory, little by little, Sebottendorf published secrets, in particular in his book, The Practice of the Old Turkish Freemasonry, which was published in 1924. In this book, there are meditation practices aimed at self-discipline, which he brought back from Turkey. The theory finally developed through this book, and it was also applied to the time Sebottendorf spent in Munich. Even there, he is supposed to have been working under the secret order chiefs.
Not much has changed today. All who are striving for power are manipulated through their need for loans from the financial lodges. They need money to finance their personal power thirst, their armies and wars. The Third Great War was already predicted in the scripts of the wise men of Zion. This one too is supposed to take place in Germany and Europe. It will be interesting to see who will be used as a tool this time. Will it be a Russian or Muslim dictator who wants to release the world once again from the Illuminati? Already one can find an extensive range of books and countless scripts, especially in Muslim countries like Iraq and Iran, telling us how the imperialistic and Zionistic Freemason Christianity remains the great evil. It is only a matter of time until a spiritual leader will be born, or maybe already is. This person might already be here, having possibly experienced the strange war against Iraq, and will try in the near future to release the world and the Muslims of the evil conspiracy and of Christianity, using literature about the conspiracy in order to initiate a final religious war and atomic disaster. Mankind could spare itself by overcoming polarity. The ego games are still being repeated. As long as there are humans who believe that the world can be changed on the outside by power, laws, and war, the wolf in sheep's clothing will still mislead people. Each one of us can only lead himself. Only when man is able to let go of all needs for authority within himself and on the outside can he take the first step into independence, because all political and religious leaders are misleading seducers. To change the world or a person by force means separating it from the perfect foundation of life, and to create new karma. Indeed, life evens itself out. It does not need human beings to fulfill karma. To blame someone and to make someone feel guilty creates new karma. It creates a negative debt which has to be settled during the next life.
And so we see the Germans looking for identity, which the leadership of Hitler and others provide, and it's in that context that we look at the unique cycle of the Bodhisattva or the teacher that arrives on the scene. And clearly, if we look at the Mayan, the Nahua, the Mesoamerican histories, we see the teaching of the 13 teachers of light and the 9 teachers of darkness. The cyclic interpretation of this would allow some sociologists and historians to believe that Hitler fits the mold of the great Lord of darkness or light that appears on the scene at the right time and provides, as it were, the consciousness opening to higher intelligence.
Therefore, it is a sad truth of karmic fate that one day the world will find out that the Holocaust of the Jewish people was indirectly financed by their own lodges. During the Third Reich, the Minister of Finance, Mr. Schacht, organized the funding of armaments and Hitler's rise to power, not only through the German industries, but to a great extent through secret money transactions from Swiss bank accounts. Illuminati and wealthy Jewish capitalists raised $120 million to bring Hitler into power. Thus, Hitler's revolution against the dark forces on the outside represents a dictatorship, his battle against his own inner darkness. The dark side of power within us and the world receives strength only when one gives it an existence in consciousness by evaluating and rejecting it. Consequently, transformation can only take place within a person and never on the outside. The exterior world only changes when changes occur on the inside.